Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Sunbury Shore's Art Attack interview. This year, COVID has made it difficult for people to get out and visit the gallery, so we thought we'd bring some artists to you. Joining us today in the Harbor View Gallery is Fabiola Martinez from St. John. Fabiola was born in Mexico City and grew up in the city of Santiago de Querétaro.
Querétaro? Yes.
And originally an architect from the Technology Institute of Querétaro. Thank you. She moved to St. John several years ago, and she is now a professional artist and considers Mexico and Canada as her home. How are you doing, Fabiola? Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Florence. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing that you guys are doing this and to connect with artists, and this COVID thing hopefully pass soon, but it's good that we have technology so we can keep connected with the audience and with the community. So thank you for having me.
All right, so are you up for a few questions?
Yes, I think so.
So, how did you decide to become an artist after studying to be an architect?
That's a very good question. Yes, I think that this artist of creating and doing something always with my hands, it was always in me, but I did not visualize that as a part of my life until I moved to Canada. I went to the Instituto Tecnológico de Querétaro to study architecture, and I became an architect. But after that, I decided to do something a little bit different for myself, and I always wanted to learn English and traveling. So I quit my job with the government in Mexico. So I traveled to Canada, and everything started to become very organically. I met my husband that in BC. He's from St. John, and we started a family here in St. John. So we got married, and things started shaping a very different direction, and my knowledge in architecture started to be reflected in my artistic practice and in my artwork, and everything started just growing in a very interesting direction.
Mm-hmm. For an artist who incorporates two different cultures in your work, what are some similarities that you found between them and that connect for you the most?
Well, I think when it comes about culture, is what defines our identity and what defines who we are as individuals, and the values that we have during our childhood, and the values that we learn in a family context, and then in a community context. And I find that living in a country like Canada, it gives you the opportunity of multiculturalism. So when I see different other cultures, I see that we are all passionate about who we are, about our identity, about where we are coming from, and we are eager to share that to the community. We're eager to share that with another cultures. And if I have to find some similarity to that, I think it's the passion and the love of identity, and that is a very good point of inspiration as an artist.
Can you tell us more about the red paint you use in your work? You mentioned it's an original color from your homeland.
Yes. Well, when I started painting, as something that I was doing aside, working for the government, I was after that I was going back home and painting, and then when I talk my uncle that is from Mexico, and he dedicates his life to cultivate cochinella, he introduced me to it, and it was only one color, the pigment, the red, and the variations, red, oranges, and different shades that you can get from it. When he introduced me to it, I felt very intimidated by it, because I found that I was not ready for that. I was finding my way, and to introduce cochinilla in my artistic practice, it was a big challenge for me. So when I felt ready, which was like 6 years ago, I went back to Mexico and I spent time in the farm with them to understand more about the process of using cochinilla. How is the cultivation, how long it takes, how is the process of working with it on wood, on fibers, and the story behind, like how many, like the artists that they were using it centuries ago, and how I can incorporate that into my own practice, and how that can be still relevant, or how I can share that with artists here in Canada, right? How we are all introducing this together, how we can be connected culturally to this. So yeah, cochinilla is a natural pigment that comes from a female insect that grows in a cactus in Mexico and produces a carmine color. And it takes about 3 months to cultivate it for the infestation. Then you remove it from the cactus. It's a little tiny parasite actually that eats the cactus. So only the female can produce the pigment. So you remove it from the cactus and then you let it dry under the sun for about 3 days, and then you just smash it. I know it's a hard word. What other word can I use? You powder it. And yeah, and then you just use it with, I use it with water, I use it with oil, and I start to experiment with the different other materials.
For this new series of work, which is being exhibited right now in the Harborview Gallery, you mostly painted outside of buildings, and in this show, you're painting the inside of buildings and letting the light describe it. What are you trying to do differently in your work with this new scene?
For me, it was to move to the next level of my practice. It was to explore the inside of the building, just connections that we all have, but we are not aware of it. I'm very attracted to the light. It's something that it just shines to me naturally. So when I go outside and it's during the nighttime and I see the lamps, I see the houses with the lights on and reflections and all that, it's just like attracted to me. But it's also thinking about the inside. When a house, I was trying to think about a building or a home. When the light is off, we are already immediately thinking, probably there's nobody there. The light is off. But if it's one of the lights is on, it just gives you the hope to think like, maybe somebody there. And you can just have that assumption naturally. So there were those little things that attract to me to think about, like more the inside, what are culturally unfolding inside the buildings, inside the space, and how these buildings are the witnesses of all these historical events happening inside. And historical events don't necessarily have to be a big transition, but it have a big transition to us as an individuals, right? So it's like this space right now. Everybody has their chance to have an experience in this space. It could be a young artist who comes and learns how to paint here and keep that memory on her heart or his heart. And then it can be an artist who is coming and talk about their work. Could be an audience and a person who comes and see and find a connection in an art piece that they can find in this space. So there is so many. There are only few examples, but it's endless. Like the possibilities are endless for all the experiences that people can have in only one space. So I wanted to, and we don't have control on that. It's just something that happens organically, just like the light coming right now from the sun. Sun is exactly what we see on my paintings and on my pieces now. They are all buildings that they are from New Brunswick, and they were selected through the New Brunswick Museum with the support from them. We studying some of the buildings, and then I went to spend time inside of them and trying to capture the light that was coming from the evening or from the sunrise, depending of the day. But it was always capturing that light, that intangible changes that that sometimes we are not aware of them.
Yeah.
Everybody has seen that light coming, and there are a lot of stories passing through that light. And they are always there. That light is always there, witnessing those events that that we just pass every day.
Yeah. So, what are some landmarks that inspire you today or right now here in New Brunswick or in Mexico?
Well, in Mexico is my hometown, Querétaro. It's definitely the colonial architecture, the churches. We have this colonization and so much Barroco architecture in the city, and the colors. It's so much brightness there, and it's so much fest, and then then you move to New Brunswick, and New Brunswick is a different context. Like everything is gray because the haze, right? But it has their beauty, their uniqueness. It's like it keeps you calm. It gives you like to reflect. It gives you the time to reflect. So I love Saint John, New Brunswick. The first time I saw the city, I fell in love with the landmark, and I decided to stay. That was not a plan to stay.
Yeah.
When I came to Saint John, it was to visit my boyfriend, now my husband, family, and friends, and we were gonna go back to BC.
Yeah.
But when I saw the city, I really fell in love with the place, and I decided to stay because I was just, I felt like in a very unique architectural scenery.
What is it that you enjoy most about working with children when you're teaching art? Or do you teach other things other than art?
I love teach children. It's just, I think it's one of the gifts that art has given to me, to be able to share my passion and my love to painting and to create to them. And they are my best teachers because when I'm around them, they are always reminding me that there is no fear. There shouldn't be any fear in creating, that it's okay to take risk. It's okay. Like they are not afraid to, there is no bad or good, right? You just take the risk and you just take the chance. So when I'm teaching and I'm giving the instruction of what to do, and I have an idea of how they have to do, and then there is always a couple of students that they're like, what if? That keeps you like, oh, refreshing. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. I love to learn from them. I really love to be around those students, the younger ones. They're adorable.
Last question. So where can people follow you and where can people see your work?
Yeah, for those who are interested to know more about my artwork, you are welcome to visit my website, www.fabiolamartinezart.com. Follow my Facebook page, that is Fabiola Martinez Artist, and my Instagram, Fabiola Martinez Artist as well. So that's it.
Okay, folks, thank you, Fabiola. This was a very interesting interview. And thank you for tuning in, our viewers. And stay tuned for more Art Attack videos with local artists and New Brunswick artists. And in the meantime, stay safe and keep making art.
Okay.
Thank you, Fabiola.
So much. Adios. Thank you. Gracias.